Thursday, July 2. Paul's letters to the Corinthians. Read 1 Corinthians 1:11-13. My brothers and sisters, some from Chloe's household have informed me that there are quarrels among you. What I mean is this. One of you says, I follow Paul. Another, I follow Apollos. Another, I follow Cephas. Still another, I follow Christ. Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Were you baptized in the name of Paul? 1 Corinthians 4:14. I am writing this not to shame you, but to warn you as my dear children. 1 Corinthians 5:11. But now I'm writing to you that you must not associate with anyone who claims to be a brother or sister, but is sexually immoral or greedy, an idolater or slanderer, a drunkard or swindler. Do not even eat with such people. 1 Corinthians 7:1. Now for the matters you wrote about, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. 1 Corinthians 14:37 and 40. If anyone thinks they are a prophet or otherwise gifted by the Spirit, let them acknowledge that what I am writing to you is the Lord's command. But everything should be done in a fitting and orderly way. 2 Corinthians 1:12. Now this is our boast. Our conscience testifies that we have conducted ourselves in the world, and especially in our relations with you, with integrity and godly sincerity. We have done so relying not on worldly wisdom, but on God's grace. 2 Corinthians 2:9. Another reason I wrote you was to see if you would stand the test and be obedient in everything. 2 Corinthians 11:3. But I am afraid that just as Eve was deceived by the serpent's cunning, your minds may somehow be led astray from your sincere and pure devotion to Christ. And 2 Corinthians 13:10. This is why I write these things when I am absent, that when I come I may not have to be harsh in my use of authority, the authority the Lord gave me for building you up, not for tearing you down. How do these passages help us understand why Paul wrote letters to the Corinthians? Paul was in Ephesus when he wrote 1 Corinthians. The family of Chloe went to him with the report that things were not going too well back in Corinth. In 1 Corinthians 1-6, Paul addresses the issues brought by Chloe's household. The problems include factionalism, sexual immorality, lawsuits, and prostitution. Paul also received a letter with specific questions. His response fills the space from chapter 7 onward. The questions were related to marriage, divorce, celibacy, food sacrificed to idols, conduct in worship, the use of spiritual gifts, and incorrect understanding of the resurrection. The church of Corinth was very problematic and immature. Perhaps your local church has many problems, yet the church at Corinth was probably worse. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians is very relevant to our time as well. After all, don't we to some degree face some of the same issues in many of our churches today? This letter has much to say to us. It is, quote, one of the richest, most instructive, most powerful of all his letters, end quote. Ellen G. White, The Acts of the Apostles. Paul may have written 3 or 4 letters to the Corinthians. He wrote an initial letter before 1 Corinthians, but it is lost. Before 2 Corinthians, he wrote a letter referred to by scholars as the severe letter, but it is lost too. Some think he is referring to 1 Corinthians, or that this letter is partly preserved in 2 Corinthians. From 2 Corinthians, we realize that the members of Corinth were influenced by the surrounding culture. They valued such things as competition, power, and wealth, all things that can challenge our church today as well. Conversely, Paul sought to create a Christ-focused culture, a way of seeing the world through the lens of the gospel. How crucial that we too see our present world through the lens of the gospel. Read 2 Corinthians 2:4 again. For I wrote you out of great distress and anguish of heart and with many tears, not to grieve you, but to let you know the depth of my love for you. What does this verse tell you about how much Paul cared for these people? In contrast, how much love is in your heart for others?